What's on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and the revenge tour has begun. I was waiting. I was getting a little impatient as it's now been over a month, and I haven't seen any heads rolling. And specifically in relations to, the lawfare against Trump. Not obviously with Doge and a lot of the stuff like that that's being canceled. That's all good. That's all fine and dandy. But I've been wondering about James Comey and all the FBI's lawfare and, Letitia James and things like that. It took some time to get Kash Patel confirmed. And after a big win last night for Trump, there's some news about that, including him erupting in the White House Oval Office at a reporter who probably regretted asking the question. Now let's get into the first big win. Now, the House has narrowly adopted Trump's budget plan to advance Trump's agenda in a win for Speaker Johnson. Now, Thomas Massie did speak about how this plan doesn't do the best job when it comes to, reducing debt. And I'm not as smart about that kind of stuff. And, I haven't read every aspect of it. But I think in general, I'm willing to give Trump a pass on some stuff. But, I'll keep a watchful eye. So Mike Johnson on Tuesday muscled a multi-trillion-dollar budget blueprint through the House by the narrowest of margins. I think it was 2. A crucial step for Republicans as they embark on advancing President Donald Trump's legislative agenda. The vote was 217 to 215, with Republicans casting all of their votes in favor of the budget resolution. Just one Republican, Thomas Massie, joined Democrats in voting against it. Now, a lot of people on Twitter and X were talking about this being the no tax on tips and the, no tax on overtime passing. That's not true. That's not what this was. This is kind of like the first step in getting that kind of stuff done. But I don't know why I saw so many people saying that had passed last night. It didn't. We got it done. Johnson said after the vote, this is the first important step to opening up the reconciliation process. We have a lot of hard work ahead of us. We're going to deliver the America First agenda. The budget measure calls for $4.5 trillion in tax cuts and a goal of $2 trillion in spending cuts. It includes more than $100 billion in new spending on immigration enforcement and military. I'd like to see that broken down. Obviously, I think most Americans support reasonable spending to, secure things like that, to arm him, to gather up a lot of these folks and make sure that things get done. The defense stuff, I'd like to see some specificity there. I'd like to see more talks about stopping giving Israel a bunch of money and Ukraine, which we got another big win yesterday. It looks like Ukraine has now agreed to the minerals deal, which I think is a big win for Trump, given we probably were getting nothing under Joe Biden. So we'll have to see how that shakes out. It also requires the House Energy and Commerce Committee to find $880 million in cuts to federal programs. And Republicans say some of that will come from reducing spending on Medicaid. Now, this is, this is odd. I'd like to see where this is coming from because, honestly, I assume there's a lot of bloat in Medicaid, but I don't want people who rely on it to lose money. So some specificity there around that. Of course, the Democrats are seizing on they're cutting Medicaid. We don't really know that that's the case. I assume the people who receive Medicaid will still be receiving the same amount of money. 3 conservative rebels who have been openly opposed to the budget, Tim Burchett of Tennessee, Victoria Spartz of Indiana, and Warren Davidson of Ohio ultimately flipped and voted in favor of it. Well, I think that's probably in part because of all of the pressure to get in line with people like Elon Musk saying, we'll primary you if you're a problem. I don't see a problem with that, given that's how Democrats operate anyway. Trump helped us with a number of members. Look, Trump has been an incredible ally in this whole process, talking to anybody that we asked to really clarify things. Steve Scalise told reporters. I'm not going to talk about who Trump talked to and what they talked about. I wasn't privy to those conversations. So essentially, he had to probably make some final conversation, some final convincing. That's what he has to do. He's a deal maker. Get in there, roll up your sleeves. You see here, obviously, the Democrats melting down about this. Here is Trump erupting at a question, at a question asked by a reporter about being, targeted with lawfare, saying, well, it's not fair when you do it, Mr. Trump, even though the Democrats were fine with the FBI and attorney generals and judges and everybody else doing that over the past 5 years.
Mr. President, what do you say to people who worry that targeting an individual firm or individuals who aren't Jack Smith?
Excuse me, actions? I've been targeted for 4 years, longer than that. So you don't tell me about targeting. I was the target of corrupt politicians for 4 years, and then 4 years after that. So don't talk to me about targeting.
I mean, absolutely crushed him. I wanted to show this other thing, a little more lighthearted moment. Here, check this out. Trump just offered, Trump was right about everything hats to the press. Just came in. You want one? I'll pass. Listen to this. This is just a funny moment, a funny exchange.
Look. Yeah. See that? Trump was right about everything. It just came in. Somebody said, I said, this was sent in by a fan. I said, I think we should make some of them, right? But we were pretty much.
One thing I will say that's annoying about the Trump campaign, I don't know if you are in the same spot, but like the dude's been president, he won the election back in November. I'm still getting crushed with text messages and emails wanting more money and wanting this and that and this and that. Like, bro, I know he's not personally doing it, but it's a little gripe. Will I buy this hat? Probably.
Want one?
I'll pass.
Are you allowed to take one? Because he'll consider it. I know him well. He's sort of a stiff.
I said you were right.
Brian, you're not a stiff. He's sort of a stiff guy. He'll take other things, but not a free hat.
Yeah.
Always say yes to the president. Always say yes to the president.
Would anybody like one? Give me.
It's just hilarious. With the hat is absolutely classic. I'm sure they're for sale, everywhere. I'd be willing to bet. But here, right now I've got my Jurassic Park hat on. But here's the big part of the story. The FBI has now launched an investigation into former FBI director James Comey, who many believe are corrupt, for his off-the-books honeypot operation targeting Trump in 2016. The announcement comes just days after Kash Patel was sworn in as the new FBI director. As reported by the Washington Times, the FBI is looking into an off-the-books operation launched in 2015 by James Comey. According to a whistleblower, 2 undercover female FBI employees infiltrated Trump's 2016 campaign to act as honeypots. In the intelligence community, a honeypot is commonly referred to an undercover operative, usually a woman or James O'Keefe, who feigns romantic interest to obtain information from a target, the Washington Times reported. So the FBI, we already know about them tapping his phone. Didn't Obama tap his phone? I'm pretty sure. We now know, at least it appears, that they were involved in directly trying to entrap a presidential candidate. This is the type of stuff that I think we're talking about them trying to get removed. When people say they're destroying files and this, that, and the other thing, it's probably that kind of stuff they're trying to key up. The operation was likely a fishing expedition to find any crime against him. During a recent interview before the election, Comey was visibly concerned about what would happen to him if Trump won the election.
Are you concerned that it may get a test unlike any other if Donald Trump is reelected? I mean, when you think about a second Trump administration, what do you think the implications would be for the FBI?
Oh, serious. For the Justice Department and the FBI, because Trump is coming for those institutions.
Why wouldn't
he knows their power, and I think he has regrets that he didn't work hard enough to corrupt them last time.
To corrupt them? You're joking, right? Now, again, I am sure there are good agents that work there. I know some of their agents watch my videos. Hey, bud. I think there are a lot of people there that are just trying to protect this country or just do the best job they can. I truly do believe that. The issue is there's clearly at the higher levels, mega levels of corruption. And you see here, FBI looking into Comey's off-the-books honeypot operation targeting 2016 Trump campaign. Was there any reason for this investigation to take place? No. They were literally working, at least in my opinion, on behalf of Hillary Clinton to help win her the election. Were they doing the same to the Hillary Clinton campaign? Lord knows that woman probably wants to get laid. I see. It seems unlikely, right? Were they doing the same to the Obama administration? Were they doing the same to other Democrat candidates like Kamala Harris? Were they trying to honeypot Kamala Harris? Lord knows she knows how to S a D. It's just, how can you tell me? And again, I'm sure there are good agents at the agency. But like, as a layperson on the outside who maybe doesn't have all the context they have, how can I believe that this isn't like totally corrupt and that this isn't totally designed to entrap a presidential candidate on behalf of Hillary Clinton? That's how it looks to me. The Times learned that the Bureau, now led by Kash Patel and Deputy Director Dan Bongino, is looking for one of those once undercover employees under Mr. Comey's direction. The FBI, of course, have declined to comment. According to the whistleblower disclosure, the Times reviewed the investigation differed from Crossfire Hurricane and later FBI counterintelligence operation that looked to never proved in allegations that the campaign was colluding with Russia. Another complete nonsense thing. The whistleblower said the off-the-books criminal investigation targeted Trump and his staff. You have to have a reason to investigate somebody. Otherwise, you're just trying to entrap them. This is totally bonkers. The investigation did not appear to target any specific crime because they didn't know or have any evidence of one, but was more of what agents would describe as a fishing expedition to try and find literally anything incriminating against Mr. Trump. The whistleblower said that the undercover operation was obscured from Justice Department Inspector General Michael E. Horowitz, who investigated misconduct in the Bureau's probe of the Trump campaign. This case had no predicated foundation, so Comey personally directed the investigation without creating an official case file in Sentinel or any other FBI system. According to the whistleblower's disclosure, the FBI has multiple methods of protecting highly sensitive investigations, so Comey did not have a legitimate reason to officially create an investigation file or have a file number. This guy belongs in prison. I'm sure he's very nervous now. I'm hoping that we see some movement from Kash Patel. Make sure you lock it in here. You leave a like on the video. If you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow so you never miss a topic. And tune in at 1 Eastern to our live streams. We're live every day at 1 Eastern over on Rumble or on YouTube's Quartercast. And we'll talk to you again real soon.